Wait, we can't. No, we no.
What's
We're
up,
not,
dude?
we're not
We're
on
back.
this network anymore.
Whatever,
We don't
man.
go live Thursday at 10:05.
We don't do any of that shit, but you know what? Who gives a shit? Dozer's not here, but you know what? We are. And we're fucking back, baby.
And you know
It
what?
is such good shoot.
To start out the second wave of such good shoot, I have a passage to read.
Third wave, fourth wave.
Yes, I have a
No,
passage to
a
read.
new wave. Read for me.
Call was annoyed with Gus, who had still not returned. P had reported seeing him just after dawn riding east in evident health. Call noticed the Texas bull standing about 50 yards away. He was probably watching the two pigs who were rooting around in a chaparral bush. Probably they were trying to root out a ground squirrel or perhaps a rattlesnake. The bull took a few full steps towards them, but the pigs ignored him. Needle Nelson was scared of the bull. The minute he noticed, he went to get the rifle out of his saddle scabbard. If he comes at me, I aim to shoot him, Needle said. He'll never live to cross the Yellowstone unless he leaves me be. Lippy too disliked the bull and climbed up onto the wagon where he saw how close the bull was. He won't charge the camp, Call said, though in fact he was not so sure the bull wouldn't. Why, he charged Needle, Jasper said. Needle had to get up going so fast he near forgot his dingus. And at that point, there was a general laugh, though Needle Nelson didn't join in. He kept his rifle propped up against a wagon wheel while he was eating. The bull continued to watch the pigs. And that's sermon number 1 from chapter 33 of Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurray.
A little fucking culture for you fucking pigs.
You know what? This is such good shoot, round 7 or 8. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We might talk about some books. We're definitely going to talk about some wrestling, and probably not the wrestling you're used to hearing from us about. We're going to talk a whole lot about game changer wrestling. What I would argue is the most, right now, the most feel less bad about watching pro wrestling because everyone stinks. And overall, the most fun just to watch company out there.
The biggest indie promotion on the planet for sure. Obviously, they're not drawing crowds like AEW or Ring of Honor or those guys, but they put on the most fun shows you'll ever see. They're intimate. They're great with the fans, and you can watch every show they do on Triller, and the Triller account is cheap.
It's like $10 really a month,
and they usually have at least like 2 or 3 shows a month, sometimes more. Like last month, they had fucking like 4 or 5.
Yeah, GCW is really interesting. There will be some months where they do 10 shows, and they do a 3-day weekend in Atlantic City and 2 dates, elsewhere scattered across. Generally, I would say the northern portion of the country. Normally, the Midwest to out to Atlantic City, sort of area. But GCW, for those of you who don't know, may be tuning in for the first time. They don't have weekly television. They only run quote unquote pay-per-view shows. So there's a ton of matches on these shows that are just fun. It's just wrestling.
Yep.
You don't have to, a lot of times with GCW, you don't need to have watched for 6 months prior to understand what's going on. A lot of GCW shows, you can just pick up and watch. I think that's pretty fun. I think that's pretty special. And especially if you aim like I want us to do, you can watch all the shows they do for fairly low, investment. Coming up New Year, they normally run a ton of shows, so that might be a little bit more, but a lot of weeks you can get away with watching 2.5 hour long shows that are less long if you watch them after the fact and skip through the the vignettes.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're looking at the 3 hours, and it's so much fun, and you never know. I mean, you'll see. We're going to talk a little bit about I went to a show a couple weeks back. They came to Vermont for the first time. They teamed up with Green Mountain Wrestling, which is really fucking cool for any promotion with like a TV deal and like a big fan base, to come to any small uh, promotions neighborhood and put on the show, and not put on the show, but invite them in and have the local wrestlers work, and like it really, I mean, it was a big deal for the guys who work up here, to get that opportunity. It was a really huge deal. And I know it's a big deal for a lot of the guys from Unsanctioned Pro. And I'm assuming other local promotions they do this shit with. But, like you can really tell that Brett and all the Emil and all the people who work there really care about what they're doing and really care about entertaining the fans. And I think that kind of thing is, doesn't always translate to live TV. When you're so used to seeing polished shit all the time, like AEW and WWF, but or WWE, sorry, and then but like GCW is something that feels and looks very different. It feels and it is like the shows that you go and see when you go out to see pro wrestling. It's just that they have a little bit more money to spend, and what they spend it on, instead of spending on a crazy production, they spend it on the wrestlers and what they're doing, and you can tell. And so we'll get into it in a minute, but I mean, shit, get Triller TV. It's cheap. You can also get a lot of the AEW shit on there, but if you are an AEW fan, you already fucking have Triller, I'm sure, because it's, I think, the only way you can watch their pay-per-views.
Yeah, I don't think the Trello subscription you pay for GCW, and let's not forget something. I think we're kind of trying to do a little bit different in this iteration of SGS comparative to the latest versions, and also 5-star takes that you saw Isaac and I on last, as well as any of those other associated shows. Is I think we're trying to take a little bit of a step away from maybe these main shows. Obviously, there's anything that we could end up talking about, but I do think our main thing will be GCW and maybe some of the local stuff. I'm sure we'll have a ton of fun around WrestleMania weekend coming up next year. I don't know how that's gonna work. Obviously, not a whole lot of shows have been announced, but I'm sure we'll have a ton of fun watching some random independent shows, which you can also get off of Triller TV
GCW is going to have some shit going on. This
No,
the thing is,
they run 4 shows every WrestleMania weekend, and I don't mean to cut you off. What I was going to say is the Triller TV Plus, I think, is separate from the AEW stuff. For I think it's like $13 a month, $15 a month, maybe a little bit less. There is a catalog on Triller TV of all of the GCW shows, a ton of bigger independent shows. It's great for WrestleMania time, like I just said, because all of those local shows are running big, kind of streaming things. If you're an MMA fan, there's a ton of regional and local level MMA that also runs boxing as well on that platform. It really is a pretty decent investment of what you would spend for less than what you would normally pay it at Wendy's, or McDonald's at this point for a lunch for a month. And the GCW stuff unto itself is worth it. All of the extra stuff, and I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure we'll have a ton of content coming around WrestleMania time about all of these different indie shows. Is totally worth it.
And here's the thing. I love doing 5-star takes, and I love DDJ like a brother. I love that man. The only reason that I couldn't do it anymore is kind of what you were talking about, is that it's, like Triller TV is cheap. It's easy. You get all the shit. WWE has made it so hard to fucking watch their product across the board. It just is. Like, you have to have network TV, you have to have Netflix, you have to have the ESPN app, and then sometimes it's on other shit.
You'll still have to have Peacock because the NXT shows will be on Peacock, whereas the WWE stuff is going to be on ESPN. So you're looking at 2 streaming services plus network television.
Three
Um,
streaming services because you need Netflix, Peacock, and ESPN, and the
oh yeah,
television. So I mean, and and I'm sorry, that's fucking crazy. That's so much money to spend to watch fucking hours of TV a week. Like, and so I just like I'm like I couldn't do it. Like I'll get a VPN and I'll watch WrestleMania on Netflix. Via Europe or something like that. But like they've shown what they want, and like the first couple of years of Triple H in charge were great, but TKO hasn't been good for WWE in the long run, like so
yeah,
far.
and I don't think the on screen product has changed very much at all. I just and I don't want to get into it. I know you don't want to get
Yeah,
into it.
no,
But
I'm
yeah,
just
I mean,
explaining why we're here.
yeah.
Because
There are some
GCW
decisions
is
that have been
affordable.
made that you and I both find very gross. You've never been a
Yeah,
big AEW fan, and yeah, we both love DDJ a ton. It's just his interests aren't
yeah.
necessarily,
And
you know,
here's the thing, DDJ. If you're out there, you're watching. You watch GCW, man. You
yeah,
watch
come
the
on,
shows. You could come on, man. We got
yeah,
you. We got a spot. We got a
yeah,
third spot here. So GCW fans, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to talk to them, but we're also trying to get some other people onto this shit because it's crazy entertaining. It's so much fun. And I don't know. Let's dive
yeah.
into it.
I one real quick.
Okay. Yeah. No.
I
Keep
do think
going.
it's important to
Preach.
provide a
Preach.
little context. So Isaac didn't watch GCW and hasn't watched GCW a ton
Yeah.
recently with the Vermont show. And I've shown him some matches before, and I think he's
I've
caught show,
watched
a
I've
little bit
watched a few
in there.
here and there,
Yeah,
and it's always entertaining.
yeah.
Even if
I've
it's shitty wrestling or it's stupid, it's crazy fun.
yeah,
And
and
you know what?
I've been a
As
GCW
long
fan for a very long time. I don't watch every GCW show. I fully admit that, but I think the most endearing thing about GCW, and I know this is going to totally be like, oh, you're comparing it to GCW, but it reminds me of ECW in a way that every match you'll see on the card is going to be different. They are not afraid to take risks, and they are not afraid to just put things out there to be different. Um, I do want to start with a little bit of the Vermont card just because I want Isaac to talk about a little bit of his experience live. I want him to talk a little bit about his guys, but the meat and potatoes of today's episode is going to be the American Dream card from this past
game
Saturday.
on, baby.
From the American Dream Mall in Atlanta, Georgia, which I do
It's in
think.
Jersey. It's in New Jersey.
Oh yeah, that is the one in Jersey. Sorry,
Yeah, that's why they did so much because it's home base for them. Basically.
Yeah, they ran some other big ass spot in Atlanta,
Yeah.
but I do think that show is really a perfect encapsulation of everything GCW does well, other than maybe some of the more deathmatch based stuff. But they were also in a fucking mall, so
yeah, and that's the thing is like GCW literally has something for every wrestling fan, which is great. Um, like Jim Cornette would hate it, but that's because they're having too much fun. But yeah, fucking jump on, watch, and feel free if you. I should exit out of full screen on my end here so I can see if we get any comments because I forgot we could do that.
oh, are we live? We are.
Oh,
Live.
we're fucking live, baby. Yeah, dog. So if you're out there, you're watching, shoot a comment in.
Yeah.
Anyway, so GCW came to Vermont. If you've watched any of this stuff that we've done, you've seen. Pete Box, damn, you've seen us do our interviews with Johnny Pierce and with Mullet Man, and actually, you know what? And with another GCW guy, we did Tony Deppen.
Yep. Who unfortunately for you was not at Great Mountains and Me, but
no. Wade, what up, Wade? Thank you, man. It's good to be back. But yeah, Tony Deppen, we did an interview with him. So we've talked with some of these guys, but the Green Mountain Wrestling guys, it's a promotion up here. They're relatively new. And they've been putting in a lot of work. We got a lot of amazing talent from Vermont, a lot of amazing talent from upstate New York. Our current champion, shout out Mike Skyros, incredible champion. We got some guys, Don Freeze, Memory Museum, Abed Aronis, and Joe Cruel. Uh, Obviously, Mullet Man, Jobs, Johnny Pierce,
Serena.
Selena
We
Hecate,
had some.
the
Sorry.
Hellcat. So just some like amazing, amazing people. Sorry, and the Lost Boys. I don't want to forget those because they were on the card and they were fucking legit. But GCW came up. They came to a small little local town, to the Elks Lodge in town, and they did a co-show with our local promotion. And the first match was a pretty fun match. It was just a scramble. We showed up. We got there a little early. There was a bunch of people signing. It was a really cool atmosphere. Some a really amazing talent. I'll get into it as we go along. But everyone was basically who was on the card was out either signing or getting ready for their first match. And Emil, what's his last name? I'm sorry.
MLJ.
MLJ came out and hyped the crowd up. They introduced everyone, and then with about 30 seconds to go, they got us chanting GCW while playing the videos. Boom, got us right into the show. And it was a scrambled match between, some GCW guys and some local guys. So we had Teriyaki, we had Anthony Green, Devius Cass, and Ryan O'Neill, who were all GCW guys. Then we had Corey Jackson and Johnny Pierce, who were local guys, both who put on really fun shows. Johnny Pierce was very funny because I talked to him after the show and he apologized. He's like, "I'm so sorry I landed on your lap. I fell on you." I'm like, "It's a GCW show, man. It's fine." It's like, because he got thrown out of the ring and we were really close. Um, Teriyaki ended up winning, but it was a really fun match. I'm not going to talk too much about what was going on in the ring. I just want to get
Yeah,
through it pretty quick.
one thing I do want to bring up, just because we're hyping up GCW so much, is what they do a lot of times with these shows, and something that you, in watching it more coming up, will realize is they start a lot of shows off like this, where there are no entrances and there are just like 6 people in a ring, and it's like scramble match, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Like,
No, they want to get right into. You say we want to get right in the action. So, um, next match was another good one. It was Marcus Mathers, and this was one of the best of the night as far as just like singles match. It really was probably the hottest the crowd got, and the crowd got pretty good, but they were we were so over for Don Freeze. So it's Don Freeze and Marcus Mathers. Marcus Mathers usually, I'm assuming, is a face.
yes.
He was not a face here. He was not a face in Vermont. We were fucking just freeze, Don freeze chanting. And this is one that I recommend you go and try and find and watch. Don Freeze is one of my absolute favorite indie guys right now. He's short, he's big, and he moves like fucking Rey Mysterio. I mean, he just flies. He does some amazing. She's kipping up. He's doing flips like.
So something that they brought up on commentary, and something that I thought live watching it, because I was watching this show live from my house when he was there, was, if you're an old school indie fan, especially an old school like CZW fan, and you want to see Ruckus again, Don Freeze reminds me a lot of Ruckus, and I know Isaac agrees from the clips that like I've sent him and things.
Yeah.
But these two guys are big boys. They're short. And somehow they move. And that was my predominant feeling through this whole thing was Ruckus is an attraction, because he is not Ruckus, sorry, Don Freeze rather, is an attraction because he is an anomaly and he simply shouldn't work the way he does.
And that's the thing.
And move the flippy stuff.
The second you see him, you're like, okay, what are we gonna get here? And this is the thing. And I was thinking about this. Is like he's the kind of guy who, if he was small, if he weighed less, I don't think he would have the kind of impact that he does. Honestly, I don't think he could get over the same way, which is crazy because he's so fucking good. But there's so many small little guys who are. You have to really set yourself to be a big guy who can do that shit is so unique that it's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, and I don't say this in a negative way because I too am a short, pudgy man. But I mean, Don Freeze is not like, as wrestling fans, we think of cruiserweights as small guys, but cruiserweights are fucking linebackers in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like these are not small men. It's just pro wrestling has such a gigantic stature that they seem small. Like Don Freeze is short comparative to a lot of wrestlers, and he weighs, enough, enough to be a big wrestler.
I think he's billed somewhere like 5'4", like 250 or something.
Yeah, I mean,
which to be that size and to fucking move like he does, the second, like, and you could hear it on commentary every match that I go to that he's at where he's performing. I like watching the crowd, right? And you look for people who are new there, and you watch them watch Don Freeze. And as soon as he starts his shit, right? Because they'll do like a toss off the rope and he'll fucking leapfrog somebody. Just that, and then do the duck down and hop up. They just do that little thing.
yeah,
And
and
the crowd's like, oh shit. And then he starts doing moonsaults, and he does a standing moonsault, and he does a fucking top rope moonsault, and he fucking starts doing all this shit. And by the second or third one, the crowd is fucking so behind him. It's unreal. Like he doesn't do much else in the ring. Like he doesn't need to like emote much. He doesn't need to like hype up much. He just focuses and he does the shit he does, and the crowd fucking goes crazy. And there's not a lot of guys that work that way. Like there's not a lot of guys that, like will come to the ring, just sort of do their thing, like get the crowd, but then like within 2 moves, the whole crowd is behind them. And I think that's something that, is really impressive. And the commentators were really behind him.
Yeah. Commentators put him over big time. I mean, and also I don't want to glaze by this match without also giving Marcus Mathers, a ton of credit, which is something that I think Isaac, after seeing him a second time, just watching him, Marcus Mathers is a really good pro wrestler.
Yes.
I don't think that, he is the most character or anything, but I believe he was the first WWE ID pick, and if he wasn't, he was in that first wave of 3 or 4. I think it's obvious. I mean, he's really smooth. He gets it. And you could see it in this Vermont match where he, subtly but steadily, kind of changed from, the normal babyface he plays to a more, heel based. I mean, it's not like he was giving the crowd the finger or anything, but
but he knew
mannerisms and everything. He definitely played into it. And Don Freeze and Marcus Mathers went out and had a really entertaining match.
Very good one. And, Don took the pin. Mathers picked him up, gave him the ring, told him, like, lifted his chin up, shook his hand. I mean, really, like, this is the thing that I appreciated the most, is that they came in and yes, our guys lost the match, but in no way did they come out the losers. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like they were very, very careful about how they made everyone look, and they did an incredible job. And and that was really fun.
I think that's a strong suit for GCW as a whole, and you and I have kind of talked about this a little bit. GCW is very much in the forefront of a lot of things. I know that she is in some very hot water right now, but Masha Slamovich was GCW champion as a woman for about a year before TNA did it with Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah.
They've done intergender wrestling for a very long time. They've done, little people versus normal sized people. They've done everything. And I think one of the most special things GCW does is the fact that unless the story is for it to be a joke, nobody comes out looking worse than what they came in. Everything is taken very seriously. The commentators play it, very straight for a lot of it, and
It's
as
like how
such,
they booked Lucha Underground, where it was like win or lose, you got over.
yeah, I mean,
And
and to see GCW, and again, I've seen it, with unsanctioned pro, and you just saw it, even with the indie
yeah,
talent, where a lot of people might not have ever seen these guys before.
yeah,
They even let these guys get a lot of stuff in and look legit, and they might not win, but at the very least, they don't come out looking bad, like you can
yeah.
see in a lot of other companies. Isaac, what was the third match on GCW? Green Mountains and
Uh,
me.
we went into it was this was Maki Ito and Selena Hakate. Um, this was a really quick match. I think it was only like 6 minutes, but one of the highlights of the show, and this got right on Fight TV. On they fucking were sharing this as a what do you call it, a reel or whatever,
Yes.
a short. But I had made a sign that said. It has the blank spot, and I had all the different wrestlers' names, and I could tape different names into the blank spot. It says, "Please date my friend Shane," and then on the back it said, "He does chores." And Makito came and she read the sign and she laughed and she took it and hit me in the head with it, which is awesome.
Yeah,
This
Maki is so funny, especially her evolution, through GCW and into North American wrestling. The pairing with Nick Gage is so funny because her whole
it's
gimmick,
so
if you've
wild.
never seen her, is she's the cutest wrestler in the world. She cries pretty much every match. There was a GCW match a while ago. I saw it was her versus Speedball Mike Bailey, and they both cried in the match. But her main tag partner, who in GCW and in real life has been going through some hardship, and has not been seen very much, is Nick Gage. So you didn't get to see it for the Green Mountains and Me card, but a lot of times she will do the pizza cutter gimmick. She comes out to
Oh
Seek and
shit!
Destroy.
Yeah, she's at the Seek and Destroy, and
No, no,
that's
no.
another cool
Sorry
thing
for
is they
for,
get
for
all
whom the
that
bell tolls.
unlicensed, all that unlicensed music.
It's so good. You just blare
There's
it. It's all
there's a lot of
GCW.
it. Yeah,
But yeah, this match
yeah,
was very short. It was
yeah.
definitely noticeable.
Shout out to Selena. Love her. She's still up and coming. We want to get these guys, some of these guys on the show, for sure. I know Selena is probably down to get on. Love to get Travis back on. Maybe try and get Abed Aronis on or some of these other guys. But
Yeah, I got a bone to pick.
hey, Abed was great. He said he loves you
I
twice.
gotta listen. I'm just saying, I got a bone to pick with
Yeah,
some of those memory museum guys. But
Joe
yeah, I mean,
Cruel can't.
it was still a solid showing for Selena.
Yeah.
But it was short. Maki got her shit in. Selena got to show a little bit of the power.
Mhm.
I will say I do wish this match would have gone another couple minutes, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think they could have done a little bit more to show just how good Selena can be, but
Yeah, the finish also kind of came out of nowhere. It was very
yeah.
abrupt feeling to
But it was
me.
a great submission though. Really great
Sure. Yeah. No.
submission.
No. No. No.
Look
No.
looked
There's no
awesome.
problem with the work itself. I do just
Yeah.
wish.
And then the next match, this is something that I even when they announced it, I was like, holy shit, this is really cool. And you sort of who's gonna win when you have a title match, right? So this is a tag team title match between Busta and the Brain and Memory Museum, or Muscle Museum if you read the graphics.
Dude, Muscle
Um,
Music was so good.
the Memory Museum is Abed Aronis and Joe Cruel. Great team. Abed Aronis. I mean, both those guys can work. Abed Aronis is like a small guy, and he makes up for like lack of size with being hilarious, being fucking really smart at what he does and when he does it, um, and just talking so much shit. It's great.
Yeah, I
Um,
believe I remember MLJ live referring to him as the guy that won't stop talking.
yeah, and they went out, and Alex Price and Jordan Oliver um, were great. It
They're
was really
so
cool to
they're.
watch.
I want to put a pause real quick. Those two are so good.
They're
I mean,
great.
they could make a ton of money doing the indies. I think they could very easily make waves in Ring of Honor. I think they could very easily make waves in TNA. I think in NXT there might be a little bit of maybe a learning curve there, but I think eventually those two could also make it. The first time I ever saw Jordan Oliver wrestle was the first time GCW came to Columbus in 2022. And at that time, he was in a tag team with Nick Wayne, who is currently, pretty big time on AEW television. With his mom, he was in Christian Cage's stable for a while. But at the time, I believe Jordan Oliver was 18 years old and Nick Wayne was 17. And they were GCW tag team champions as the East West Express.
That's so cool. Yeah, and for them to put up their belts against just a no-name team from Vermont, and I don't mean that with disrespect because they're my favorite tag team up here. I love them. I absolutely love them. But I mean, nobody knew who they were going into this outside of the locals, and
it went long. I mean,
it went long.
Let's see like how long was that? 17, 18 minutes.
18. Oh no, sorry, that was a different one. This one, 18 minutes, 9 seconds. And so, that's a good long match, and they really put the work in. There was some great spots. The one thing, and I mentioned this to you, Shane, one of the reasons I love Abed Aronis is he's so fucking smart and so quick when he sees things. So he just happened to be in a spot where he's in between the two guys from Bustin' the Brain, and one of them is reaching their hand in to try and get the tag, and he just kicks at it. He sees it and kicks at it and goes back to what he's doing. And it was so clean and smooth and quick, and it was just one of those things he just saw it and did it. It wasn't something you could ever plan. It just happened, but it's also who he is, to 100%. He's get the fuck out of here. I'm doing my thing and being a fucking asshole. And they had a fucking banging match. Great stuff. Obviously, they didn't win. The Memory Museum lost. But again, those guys, they dragged them into the center of the ring. Abed fell to his knees, still selling everything. And they gave him the ring, and they put him over again. And that was fucking cool to see, because it's Abed and Joe Cruel had a moment where they got to look at each other, everyone's chanting, and they got the fist bump, and it was hey, we just fucking did this shit, and it was great. Yeah. It was fucking great.
It was a really, really, really solid tag match. I mean, if I'm gonna say two matches on this show that you should watch if you just want a good pro wrestling match, it's the tag match, this one, and probably Don Freeze and Marcus Mathers from a couple matches ago. But that's not to say that there's not more.
It's a tough one to me, because there's a lot of good stuff going on this match or on this card. After that, we got Kerry Morton and Ricky Morton. Kerry came out and he just caught old school fucking Southern promo heat about how much it stunk and how much he hated everybody and how
his dad sucks.
Yeah, and it was and Ricky came out and he did the rock and roll thing, and he's over still. It's Ricky Morton. It's hard not to fucking hate him, even though he looks like your fucking aunt that smokes a carton a day and fucking.
Yeah. And there wasn't a ton to this match, but like I said earlier, it was not like anything else that was on the card. It was a ton of fun. Just a little break from the super serious indie stuff, that you see a lot of times in GCW. Ricky picked up a win with an always impressive destroyer from a 86-year-old man,
which is crazy. But yeah, that was fun. Beating up his 11th child. But yeah, that was less. There was barely 8 minutes, or just under 8 minutes. It was a fine match. It was fun. It was fun to see, just to be hey man, I saw Ricky Morton. That was cool. The next one was, oh man, what a match this was. Another really fun match. Probably the best reaction shot of me in the whole fucking thing Billy Starks and Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi is, I mean, both those girls are incredible. Shotzi is fucking really, really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, I mean, there's a reason she was on Raw, and was doing pay-per-views on fucking WWE. Like she is upper echelon of women's wrestling. So getting her around, I mean, the line just to sign for her to sign was wrapped around the fucking Elks Lodge, basically.
Yeah, and
So
also just to bring up another very young star, the first time I saw Billy Starks wrestle, I believe, was also the first time I saw GCW, and I believe she was 16 years old.
yeah, I mean, she's still really
In,
young.
in 2022, I believe, directly after I saw her wrestle, she posted a picture on Twitter, I believe, of her with 6 or so pro wrestling championships, getting ready for high school prom. Um, Unbelievable. Really an unbelievable talent. Somebody who on Ring of Honor and even on Dynamite now is already making waves. At I think she's what 19 now, something like that.
Something like that.
Um,
You can't drink, but she's got all the
yeah,
belts. Yeah,
yeah,
that was fun. Billy picked up the win, which is great.
yeah,
It was for the JCW championship, so it made sense.
yeah. There
And
was a
then
big
they
old
cut.
tombstone pile driver on a chair at the end. If you do
Oh, and
watch,
I lost my mind.
yeah, yeah. Be
You
sure to
see me in
pay
the back,
attention. Yeah, I was
especially the
crying
slow
laughing
mo.
watching it.
It was awesome. I was so into it. I was having so much fun.
Yeah, great,
They
great,
cut a.
and I should add that match too. The third pro wrestling match if you're going to watch the show, and
I
that's what
mean, watch the whole thing because the whole thing is a lot of fun. But yeah, they had a really nice promo where they were like, "I've been wrestling this bitch forever, and it's awesome, and blah blah blah. You're amazing." Very nice. Um, that led us into our second tag team match of the night, which was Bear Dozer versus the Lost Boys.
and those are the fucking guys, man.
Yeah, this was fun. This was like a bingo hall, not a bingo hall, but like a fucking, what would you say, like a PG version of a hardcore match.
It was it was definitely a bingo hall hardcore match. No, I
It
think
was
you
like
said that right,
it was like
and it's
sanitized
not
enough.
disrespectful. They just GCW ran a really toned down show. Green Mountain Wrestling, for all of you
It's a
who don't
family
know,
promotion.
yeah, it's definitely more of a family promotion. They definitely have a
Yeah.
ton of families that come out, but
A lot of
still,
kids.
there was some fun stuff in this match. I mean, they took out rows of the crowd. There was a ton of
Mhm.
crowd brawling. There was a chair shot to the head. Yeah,
Kids giving chops.
it was just a fun brawl
Yeah, they
between
did this
teams.
spot where Lost Boy was setting up chairs, and we were like, one more chair. And he
Yeah,
set up all these chairs, and then they did the fucking body or the power slam or whatever into the chairs.
yeah.
It
You
was
got to see
fun.
chairs get destroyed. You got to see I do believe a child was picked up by Matt Tremont and ran into
Yeah.
one of the Lost Boys.
Oh, and there was also there's a guy, and this is he's at all the GCW shows, and he brings that stuffed monkey.
Yes.
He brings a stuffed monkey to every show. I don't know what his deal is, but he always does. And the crowd, they always interact with it. Every show. It's incredible. That monkey has fucking seen more action than fucking JTG or whatever his name was from Crime Time. He's had more in ring action than.
God
but,
damn.
but
Um,
everyone was doing shit with the monkey, which was really fun. Shout out to that monkey. But yeah, that was a really fun match. And they put over. I mean, they did the same thing. They gave him the ring after, to the Lost Boys, and it was another great match for what it
yeah,
was.
yeah, it was, and once again, like GCW, I believe, is not a one match show. GCW shows are a sum of all their parts because once again, this match was nothing like anything else on the show.
Yes, it was unique and it was really fun and entertaining with two guys who are usually very ultra violent. So, But speaking of fun and entertaining, the next match that was all it was, which was Effie versus Danhausen.
Yeah, I mean, this was shtick on shtick, and it was never going to be anything else. This
Which
match had,
honestly, this was the throwaway match of the night for me, if I'm being honest.
yeah, but it was so entertaining, and it was so fun. You had all of the Danhausen shtick. You had
Danhausen's
Effie
great.
trying to buy Danhausen off, with dollars. You had the
And
teeth,
leave him
you had the
alone.
dance off. I
Yeah.
mean, once
It
again,
was pure comedy.
yeah,
It was fun.
nothing. Yeah, nothing like anything else on the card. It meant to pop the live crowd. If you can follow along at home and have fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm never gonna say go watch this match, but again, in correlation with the rest of the show, it fit in perfectly,
It
and
was
it
great.
was it was
It
it
was
was a
right
great
where it needed to
minute.
be too. And then that leads us into what was billed as well. GCW also does this a lot, where they'll have
Yeah,
like a main event build, and they'll have another match build, and they'll skip that one of the matches and go right to the main event, and then the main event turns into a fucking clusterfuck, and you never know
yes,
what's going to happen. It happens probably every GCW show I've watched. The main event just gets crazy,
yeah,
and it's
especially
fun.
for not when something big is going to happen.
Yeah. But
But
even
yeah,
then, even when something big's going to happen, it gets even crazier sometimes, as we'll talk about soon. But
yeah,
yeah,
but
this
you
was Mike Skyros, who's our local champion, versus Joey Janela, and this was a championship match for the Green Mountain Wrestling title. This was Mike Skyros' first title defense too, was against Joey Janela,
yeah,
which
and
is
and this is a new championship.
brand new. They debuted it that night. That was the first time anyone ever seen it outside of like the people who made it. Like that was them debuting, which was funny because like I thought they could have done a little bit more, but I think they just wanted to make it seem like he's been carrying it for a bit. But that was the first time any of us have seen it, locals. So and it looked great. It was a beautiful belt. But he put that belt
Big
up
and green,
and they wrestled for like
5 or
2 minutes.
6 minutes.
No, it was 2.5. It
Was
was
that it?
really quick. Yeah, and this is my biggest complaint is that I think they should have let this go at least 6. But it was what it was. KJ Orso ran in, attacked Janela. They stopped the match, and KJ Orso's beating the shit out of Janela or whatever, and Skyros has joined in. And whose music hits? Fucking Mullet Man, bro.
Who
Mullet
was
Man's
originally
music
supposed
hits.
to wrestle KJ Orso one on one?
Yes. And here's the thing. And I was messaging Shane, right? And I'm like, oh no, right? I'm like, they fucking bumped Mullet Man. And I was so pissed. And I messaged Travis after. I was like, you fucking worked me, you bastard. I was like, that was awesome. And like, I saw him sitting up at, like, you could see through the curtain up into the balcony where the wrestlers were. And I could just see him sitting there watching. And I'm like, fuck, man. There he is up there just watching, being like bummed that he didn't make it. And then fucking KJ Orso runs in, and I'm like, oh shit. And then I'm
And
like, wait a
and then
minute. And I sent you a message, and I'm like, Mullet Man running. And right after that, his music hit, and I'm like, fuck yes. And I went crazy. And Mullet Man came in. They turned it into a tag match. And Mullet Man and Janela fucking won. It wasn't super long, but it
yeah,
was like almost 10 minutes. And it was so much fun. And, we ended the show on TV with Mullet Man and Janela standing tall, which is incredible. And then after that, Joey Janela cut a really great promo. And who knows if it's bullshit and it's just, like the same shit that bands do, where it's like, oh, Detroit, you've been the greatest fucking city of all time. We can't wait to come back. But he came to those and he talked about how he really wants to get Mullet Man, how great Mullet Man is, and how great some of these guys are. And he wants
he
to get
also
Mullet
tweeted
Man.
about it.
And he did, but he said he wanted to get Mullet Man in the scramble. So, all in all, really fun night. Really kicked ass. Really cool to see. And I'm stoked for them to come back. So
Yeah,
that was Green Mountains and me. Um,
but before we get into Dream On, I want to put my foot in the ground,
Okay, put your foot
and
on the
and
ground.
and I want to make a demand.
Demand.
You have said so much negative things about a young man named Joey Janela, and you, um, I think, have been proven wrong entirely and totally about this man, about his work rate, about his love for the business. And I think that I think that you owe Joey Janela an apology because you are
What's
an
this? What does
unadulterated
this say?
what?
What does that say?
Always love Joey Janela.
Always love Joey. What are you talking about? Okay, absolutely. I don't take anything back that I've ever said because I've said it and I meant it at the time, but I do apologize for saying it. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I shook Joey Janela's hand after, and I thanked him for coming out and said it was really great time. But what he did for my friend Travis Mullet Man, like that was you could tell he actually gave a shit, and to come into town, to tweet out about it, to talk about how he wants to get him into the scramble, etc. That's big for me. I love my friends and anybody who's supporting them, especially big people who support them. That makes me happy. So shout out to Joey Janela. I love you. I appreciate you, and you're fucking awesome. There he is. There it is. And there it is. I'm fucking on the record, and there's no going back. Because I believe it. It was really cool. It was really cool to see. So shout out Joey Janela. That's where I'm at. Shane, why don't you talk a little bit about the startup of Dream On? I have to grab a drink because I'm fucking my whole throat.
Okay. So this is the second year GCW has ran Dream On from the American Dream Mall, New Jersey, as Isaac has said earlier. They always have a really large, really varied card for these shows. They literally run it in the middle of the mall. They've run it pretty much in the same place the past 2 years. I've been able to see Legoland both times, which I think is fucking hilarious. Because imagine if you're a normal parent trying to bring their child to Legoland and you wander across Beastman versus Sam Stackhouse.
Well, and it's very like reminiscent of the first Nitro, the first WCW
Yeah,
Nitro from Mall of America, which
yeah.
is
I
just
mean,
like a fun vibe.
yeah. I mean, the crowd for this one, I think it was sold out. I didn't see any open chairs. There were people, on the railings, up in the food court,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
food
looks
court
packed.
watching. Yeah, they typically run this as they do now, a little bit before the New Year's Eve show and the New Year's Day show, which is typically one of their biggest weekends. They always run a huge card New Year's Eve. Typically, there's title changes. It's very much kind of their Wrestle Kingdom New Year's Dash, sort of thing. And then the next day, New Year's Day, they typically run a 2-hour long battle royal called the Clusterfuck, which is, I think last year was 70 wrestlers.
And we're hoping.
Yeah, it's batshit insane. But yeah, the American Dream show from this past Saturday was a ton of fun. The opening match was, what was the opening match? Was it a scramble?
The opening match was it started out with who was it? Fucking Lucky 13 came out and was talking.
Oh, yeah.
The most generic fucking this mall smells bad because it's New Jersey. In New Jersey,
Yeah, you smell bad, I smell bad, but you smell worse than me.
Yeah, so that was and then Hacksaw Jim Duggan came out.
Came
And
wandering.
he started chanting USA, which was funny. And how I did some hoes, and he picked up a mic and he's like, "Boy, you suck." And then Ray Jazz came out, and this is really funny to me because Ray Jazz is like fucking decked out in the Italian fucking flags. It's like on the pads, on the knee pads,
Yeah.
and it's like a minute 56, and Ray Jazz wins, And Hacksaw grabs him and he's like, USA, USA. And Hacksaw's doing the thing where he's cheering him on with the microphone.
Yeah,
Like
in the middle of the match, he's like, "You see that, dude? It was so good."
It was really funny. But it was like, it wasn't a match really. It was like just something to get things started. And it was fun. But yeah, it was definitely like, this is the thing about GCWs, you just never fucking know. In this show especially, I was very surprised a bunch of times about who shows up.
Before a lot of their bigger shows, and especially this one, they run like a fan fest. So there were a ton of wrestling legends already there. And GCW, and Isaac has heard me say this, Brett Lauderdale is super interested in making money at any point in time,
Yes.
which is great. Good for him.
Good for us.
And he definitely takes advantage
Yeah.
on this show. I believe up next was the 6-man tag match with Busta and the Brain as well as Marcus Mathers versus
Fancy Flying Cartwheel.
Jack Cartwheel. That's what I'm talking about. As well as
Ryan Clancy and Ryan O'Neal.
Yeah, Ryan Clancy and Ryan O'Neal.
And Ryan O'Neal somehow is repping MDK, but he just started. And hey, shout out to Ryan O'Neal. I've been a big fan of everything I've seen of him so far.
Yeah, this match was so much fun. This match reminded me a ton of 1996, 97 WCW, first half of the card, random thrown in, 6-man luchador tag match where it's all baby faces. They're all just flying. I mean, this one I would say was a little bit less high fly. There was definitely a little bit more hard hitting, definitely a little bit more mat wrestling than what you would have seen in one of those matches. I mean, but they gave they gave this match time, like what, 12, 13 minutes, I would say, 11, 12. Yeah.
14:04.
Yeah, I mean, everybody got their stuff in. There was a big old doomsday
avalanche
destroyer thing.
That was
there was a really crazy sequence towards the end with Jack Cartwheel where he was doing a bunch of chain wrestling into like a crucifix bomb. This was just really athletic guys going crazy, 100% just get off your feet. Spot fest. It was awesome. I mean, this was just a really fun 6-man tag. And definitely, I would say, other than, I don't know, maybe like the KJ Joey match, this was probably the best wrestled match on the card if you're just looking at it from a, mat work perspective. Yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah, I think this is probably like the best like wrestling match of the night. Definitely top 2. I mean, I think that it's either that or maybe, I don't know, the major players match, although that one was a lot shorter. I mean, Masquerita, Dorada, and Gringo Loco was a good wrestling match too.
We'll get into that.
But yeah, that was the Marcus Mathers and YDMPM or whatever they fucking call him. I don't know why they call it that. But Buster and the Brain and fucking Marcus Mathers went over. The next match was Joey Janela versus KJ Orso. They've been building this one for a while now. KJ keeps getting in his business. So they finally we're gonna have a blow off, but which was this is another moment that I was very surprised by, was that they fucking, before this match started, Emil fucking goes, and now fucking legend Gail Kim. And fucking Gail Kim comes out and she starts talking. She comes out and people are sort of like, oh, cool, it's Gail Kim. Some people are cheering. There's a couple of GCW hardcores that are booing the hell out of her.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Gail Kim has been very critical of GCW, has been very critical of deathmatch wrestling.
And very critical of Joey Janela.
Yes, on Twitter.
And whether this is all been, saying they've been working towards, or this is just Brett again making money off of an opportunity, who knows? But probably just making money. So she came out and she talked shit about Janela, and she talked shit about GCW, and KJ came out and Janela came out and they had a match, and Gail did a little time on commentary, and then she went ringside, and she's great. I mean, Gail's fucking incredible.
Yeah,
Whenever
way
she's
ahead of
out.
her time.
Yeah, like one of the, the great women wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
Criminally underrated and underutilized, but just, like one of these people that understands every inch of that business, and she was great. She
Yeah, I
definitely
mean,
made the match
she,
really
she
exciting.
and I apologize. I know I'm the worst. I cannot remember her name on commentary, but she commentates all the
I don't.
time for GCW.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um,
ask. I don't know. I don't know what her name is because I never
um,
heard her.
why don't you Google real quick while I'm pontificating?
I've
Um,
tried and I can never find it. Let me see.
but
Broadcast. Emil
God, there were
Gail,
a couple
Vita,
points.
Vita Scott.
Yeah, Vita Scott. Yep.
Vita
Um,
Scott. There we go. She's awesome, by the way.
I believe it's Veda. Yeah, a huge
Veda.
pro
Oh,
wrestling.
okay, that makes sense. Vita Scott. Yeah,
Yeah, Veda
okay.
Scott. But God, their interaction had me cracking up a couple times. At one point, Gail Kim goes, and I just don't understand why nobody's cheering for KJ. And Veda goes, because he's the worst, Gail.
Because he's the worst, Gail. Yeah. Oh my God, so good. I really Veda is great, and when she does a lot of it by herself, and then Emma will jump on sometimes and hop
Other
off, and
people will jump on.
yeah, it's really fun how they do that shit, and it's sort of just
And
whatever.
once again, it reminds me a ton of old ECW and WCW, where WCW would kind of change commentators every once in a while. ECW did the thing where they would have, oh fuck, who was the horny guy? With the hair.
Horny guy with the hair.
Yeah, he was the fucking he would always cut the promos, or he's like, I'm the gigolo.
Jimmy Hart?
No, he's like, I'm the gigolo with all the hoes. And then Don Callis would always come in and kick his ass and kick him out of there.
One of are we talking about the fucking disco?
No, like it was like Joey something or another. Anyways, they switch commentary out a lot. Once again, it plays into everything being kind of different. KJ and Joey had a really good match here. A ton of good mat wrestling, a ton of good chain wrestling, some fun bumps on the fucking linoleum floor.
Which is crazy. Gail Kim screaming at him and being really funny.
Yeah. Gail Kim was just on commentary. Now she's getting up to go assist KJ. What's going on here? So good. That was good.
Yeah.
Joey picked up a big win. Really good pro wrestling match. Yeah, they did this shit in a mall.
They did this shit in a fucking mall, dude. And speaking of doing this shit in a mall, was this the match? No, it's not this match. But we get in a mall, and this was another shock for me. Obviously, I didn't know that these guys had been on the signing, but we got a fucking old school versus new school match that I think, at least for Bear, was probably amazing. I'm sure Matt Tremont was fucking stoked about
having
it too.
Fun.
Here we got Bear Dozer versus ECW legends Tommy Dreamer and Rhino. Tommy Dreamer looking a little worse for wear, but still better shape than fucking Just Incredible. And Rhino looks fucking the same as ever. Like Rhino, I don't know, he just looks fucking crazy for being.
He's just a tank. This match was pretty much the same match as what we saw in Vermont. A lot of crowd brawling, a lot of shtick. I feel like if it held a little bit more weight, obviously, because of Rhino and Tommy Dreamer that came out to the ECW theme. But yeah, no, I mean, this was a ton of fun. Tommy Dreamer put over Bear Dozer and the rest of GCW big on commentary. The crowd had a ton of fun. I mean, was there anything to write home about? No. But once again, it was just another fun match that was totally different from anything you'll see the rest of the show. And, the 11 or so minutes it went on was quick.
It was 9 minutes 20. It was quick. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was really cool getting to see those guys work with some legends, and getting that ECW GCW thing is always good.
So, real quick, do you remember the last GCW show I went to? Do you remember who Joey Janela wrestled?
No.
Rhino.
Oh, no shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Doors were
destroyed. Yeah, it was a ton of.
Yeah, there was some doors destroyed in this one.
Yeah, the doors.
Always
chair bridge.
Well, here's another classic GCW matchup coming up. We get fucking Gringo Loco, who I haven't seen in GCW in a while. Like it's been...
Gringo's been doing a ton of stuff, a ton of places.
Yeah,
who also I think fits under that Don Freeze, he's gonna shock you sort of build.
Yeah, he's bigger, but like he's taller, but he's still big, and it's like someone like oh fuck, what's his name? The guy who does the Black Stone Cold gimmick. Why can't I think of his name? He was on he used to be on Lucha Underground and all sorts of, but he was like the big black guy, but he would do like the Stone Cold shit.
Willie Mack. Yeah.
Willie Mack, Keith Lee, another guy like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Masquerita Dorado is a authentic little person.
An authentic little person who was a great wrestler. And these guys put on a fucking great match too. This is like a much more lucha style match, and they crushed it. And somehow Masquerita Dorado won.
Again, because he's not taken. They're not booking him by his height. They're booking him by what makes sense and what's fun and what people will enjoy. And this was a really interesting match between normal sized person versus little person, but it was taken seriously. They did it in a lucha style, and it was so much fun.
Yeah. And it reminds me of Lucha Underground in the sense that anyone can win at any time. Like, you never know. You never know who's going to fucking win the match, which is a lot of fun. So, yeah. After that, we got... This shit was crazy. The fucking Sam Stackhouse versus Beastman.
Opening the match, you have Beastman attacking MLJ with the bone, while MLJ is making his ring announcement, and MLJ is running away.
So funny.
Was so unbelievably funny. I mean, to the point where I was legitimately laughing out loud watching it. And it was already off to a good start.
I wish I could remember. I think it was fucking Scarlett was the rep for this. Because she was like doing her thing. Because she's incredible. She's like what did you say? What AEW fan?
AEW fans think Aubrey Edwards is. Yeah. Because she's animated and she's there, but she doesn't make it about her.
No, she only enhances. She only enhances. She's subtle enough, but she's also like convincing enough where it's like, okay, this is great.
She's a real person is watching this match. Yeah, these two guys put on. Like, we were talking about Don Freeze before. This was that to 1,000. I mean, we had multiple dives from Sam Stackhouse.
We had a murder, dude. I mean, that was the spot of the whole match. Was fucking them going out, and there was obviously
planted some guy in the crowd,
and fucking Beastman fucking goes and ends up on his lap, And Sam Stackhouse, man, he fucking
No, no, no. It
drove.
was reverse. Sam Stackhouse was sitting on him.
Oh, it was Beastman who flat. I thought it was
Yeah, yeah,
Stackhouse who flattened him for some reason.
yeah,
Either way, Beastman flattened him in the chair, and I mean, it was fucking
yeah.
hard, dude.
In Sam Stackhouse, to
Ooh,
paint a picture for everybody, is probably 6 foot, 6'1". I don't want to guess
if not
weight,
top.
but he
If
is
he's
a
6'1",
super
he's
heavyweight.
almost 400. He's 400 probably.
Yeah, he is a super heavyweight, but he does dives. He takes bumps. There was like an electric chair bump that Andre the Giant would have never taken. Back in the day, no big man would have ever taken. Yeah, and they just had a fun big boy, shoulder check, meat slapping meat. Once again, kind of crowd brawly. But the finish of the match,
Crowd brawly, they crowd brawled right out of the mall.
yeah. The most fun part of the match to me was the finish, which was they literally brawled out of the ring area, and Veda Scott on commentary was like, "We were told we couldn't, we couldn't go out of the ring area," and they brawl out. The match ends. The only thing that I wish is that they would have followed it, because these two massive men battling into the water park, battling into a shop, would have been electric. I mean,
I would have paid so much just to see them go through Legoland and fucking brawl through the city or whatever, like fucking Megatron or something.
It would have been awesome. And again, typically fucky finishes bother us, right? For anybody who's watched us for any point in time, which is about 4 or 5 people, would know that bothers me. But in GCW, it just doesn't, because GCW is a place where things happen, and
that's the thing,
sometimes they lead to other things.
Yeah, because here's the thing: is when you're doing a storyline, right, and you're trying to build somewhere over time, and you start throwing in fucky finishes all the time, it takes away from the big story, right? But if you're just trying to do something that's really entertaining, and you have an entertaining fucky finish, then you had an entertaining finish, right? It doesn't matter. It's just if it's fucky or not, it's entertaining, and that was the sole purpose of the whole thing. It wasn't to be like, okay, we're spending all this time to build this fucking story for the next goddamn year and a half. No, we're trying to put on the most fun match we can in the next fucking 10 minutes. And this is what they do.
Yeah.
And so the finish again, was like nothing else it was like nothing else we saw. Right? It was like the only one that was just like they battled each other out, and they're like they left the building, and that was it. Would have been funny if they had battled back at some point, like fucking, was it Roddy Piper and fucking the OJ Simpson thing? Yeah, that would have been funny. But whatever, it was good. And then then what do we have? Oh man, then we had a really big match. This was a surprising one, honestly, but it was we had fucking the major players. We had Matt Cardona and Brian Myers versus Jimmy Lloyd, which is good to see him back.
Fucking boy, Jimmy Lloyd.
Yep. So Jimmy Lloyd is back, and he tag teamed with fucking Killer Cross, dude. And so Killer Cross in GCW, it's another one of these guys, fucking Cardona, Drew McIntyre, all these guys who left WWE for a while and showed up at GCW and did some cool shit. Jinder Mahal, so Killer Cross showed up. They put on a really fun match. Really fun.
Yeah, there were huge Zack Ryder chants, which was a ton of fun.
We want Ryder.
Yeah, and what I explained to Isaac, and what people who have never maybe seen GCW need to understand, is Jimmy Lloyd was the main understudy when we had these when we had the Steph DeLander, Matt Cardona empire going on. And Jimmy Lloyd, before every match, was cutting these god-awful promos on purpose, clearly. But it was my death match, mommy, and everybody was "fuck you, Jimmy Lloyd." And Jimmy Lloyd's
He's
been
so
on
funny.
GCW longer than Joey Janela, maybe. He's been around
Probably.
forever. He's a super legend. And to see him turn, I believe it was last New Year's card on Matt Cardona, to see it still going was a ton of fun. And yeah, there was a ton of fun stuff in this match. I think what really shined was Killer Cross's strikes are so smooth. The way he puts them in, it was just really, really fun to see. Him putting on the Kane match to kind of call back to
Yes, the
Zack
mask.
Ryder's history. It's got to be Kane.
That's so good.
Yeah, so good. And then Cardona ate a finish, which is not surprising. Cardona is super interested in making money.
What was surprising is who pinned him, though. Was Jimmy Lloyd pinned him?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It wasn't Cross who pinned him, which was not what I would expect.
Well, yeah, but
then they build that.
Jimmy Lloyd's a GCW guy.
No, it's really cool that they gave him that, and I also think it's funny that that Effie's finisher is called the Sack Rider, and it's the fucking whatever the
Rough Rider, yeah,
the Rough Rider, yeah, the Sack Rider,
and then after the match, Killer Cross puts on the Kane mask, and then they do the fire explosion. There's no fucking fire.
Love it.
But yeah, no. Once again, this was, not the most different we've seen, but because of who was involved in it and kind of the stakes as far as the grander scale, it was different. It was so much fun.
And you're talking like this is a very high caliber of wrestler who's in the ring. I mean, shit, and I forgot to count those. We've had Hacksaw Jim Duggan, we've had Gail Kim, we've had Rhino, we've had Tommy Dreamer, we've had Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, Killer Cross. I mean, like, this is on an independent show getting that many. Like, I mean, think about if you see like a flyer for your fucking local indie show.
Yeah.
And like, you're lucky if you have one name that was ever on the big stage like that on your show ever. You know what I mean? Like, it's rare that you get that. Like, a big name for us has been guys like the Octopus, and when he showed up, Grisham, or fucking Danhausen when they showed up. But getting like all these names is really impressive. First of all,
and you also have to take into account. Too. I mean, Joey spent a lot of time in AEW, right? And in AEW's really formidable years, and he was doing crazy shit on Dynamite during COVID.
Yep. Shout out Joey. For sure.
Next up.
Yeah, that was it was just awesome seeing all those guys working together, because how often do you get to see that kind of quality?
Sure.
In an indie show. Somebody, I don't remember who it was, couldn't get there. So it was Maki Ito was supposed to fight somebody else. Yeah. And they couldn't do that. So it was your boy.
Yeah.
Listen,
the music hit. Walk, step, walk, step, walk, step. Yeah, dude, it was Jeffrey John, Babushka Baron.
UP champ, right?
Unsanctioned pro, hardcore, and tag team champ. Never the heavyweight champ.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a short. He made Maki Ito cry, and then she fucking beat him.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate that the Maki Ito's had a couple short matches, but Maki Ito versus Jeffrey John, for me, who has seen Jeffrey wrestle in front of 15 people, also seen Jeffrey now wrestle in front of a worldwide audience. Very cool. Jeffrey is very good. Jeffrey definitely understands how to get under people's skin. I think the Babushka gimmick is very fun, very original, very cool.
It reminds
Also,
that one reminds me of CPA's gimmick, and it's great. Like there's something about having on an article of clothing, and when you take it off, that same article of clothing is underneath
yes,
it. Doing that multiple times in a match will get me every fucking time. And CPA
yeah,
does it without fail in every match with his button down shirt and his tie. He'll take it off and he'll have another one on under it. And then at some point they'll rip it off him and he'll have another one underneath it because he does
yeah.
like the Hulk up thing, and that's so good. Like I love when I
Jeffrey
see
Johns. Also, the dances he does, he's very good at it. Very
mm-hmm.
annoying. Very
Mm-hmm.
heel. Yeah, they had a pretty paint by the numbers match, but Jeffrey John also stepped in last minute.
Yeah,
I
it was
do
all
believe
5 minutes.
that he missed unsanctioned pro, which I was live at on Saturday. So fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Well, it was the same
Um,
night.
Yeah, no.
So he was
I
gonna be
believe he was scheduled for a match. I can't quite remember, even if he was. Super great for Jeffrey John. Super glad to see it. Maki Ito rules. Good for her.
He's so funny. Yeah. All right, and then we went into like the gimmick for this, the setup for this was there was a number one contenders match for Effie's GCW championship between Atticus Cogar and Charles Mason. That ended in a
So,
no contest. It wasn't. They went about 5 minutes, but again with GCW. Oh yeah,
real
go for it.
quick, what you need to understand, I don't think what you don't understand for Charles Mason is about a year ago, he was embroiled in a gimmick where he was arrested for literally killing somebody. Charles Mason in storyline is a murderer.
Yeah. I saw
He
somebody throw Rey Mysterio off the top of Titan Towers one time. So
yeah,
it wouldn't be the first time.
but he in the build up to the match with Atticus Cogar is a face by proxy.
But he came out and did straight heel shit.
Yeah, they both did.
Yeah. Yeah. But
And that's because they wrestled for a couple minutes. Effie came out, said, "I'm the champion. I will defend."
I want to do this shit now.
Both of these guys,
do it.
which is the dumbest fucking move in the world. What are we doing, Effie? I mean, the second it's announced, it's.
And boy, oh boy, man, I don't even know who fucking. So much shit happened in this match. I don't know who all the run-ins
Sawyer
were.
Rack returned. You had all of Atticus crew. Slade showed up.
With the coffin, and she was in the coffin. And
yeah,
dude,
Sawyer Rack hasn't been in GCW for a year. It was fucking awesome to see her. She was a big death. She was a big death match girl, and then she kind of just won Nick Gage Invitational and retired really early. So seeing her back was really cool. Second gear crew, Matthew Justice, AJ Gray. Super fucking awesome. AJ Gray dove off the balcony about 15 feet up at 20 feet up at Unsanctioned Pro. Probably to this day the craziest spot I've ever seen in Unsanctioned Pro. But yeah, this match was insanity. There was chairs, doors, tables, everything. It was as overbooked as you can get. You were never bored through a second of it because something was constantly happening. And Effie's overconfidence cost him, and Atticus Cogar pinned him. It was a pretty big shock to me, that Atticus coming back, especially for the deathmatch GCW fan base, big deal. Deathmatch GCW fan base, very happy. I just wonder what that means for this company. I wonder if this means that maybe for the main event scene, we're going to go a little bit more hardcore. We're going to go a little bit more, blood and guts. I wonder if maybe this is going to lead to maybe, Atticus having a big championship win and losing it back pretty soon. I wonder if in January for the, for the big New Year's Eve card, maybe Effie is going to go out and do blood and guts and light tubes, and you know, maybe they're gonna, you know, kind of put the belt on him that, you know, that way.
Maybe Nick Gage comes back.
And Nick Gage could come back. I
have a hardcore match for. Yeah, I would rather not see Nick Gage because fuck that guy. It's still hard on my fuck Nick Gage. I don't care. He didn't come to Vermont and put my friends over. Yeah.
These opinions are not endorsed by the rest of SGS podcast. I am MDK all fucking day.
Hey. Yeah. Well, I like the other ones, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This show was so much fun. Especially
it was a family friendly show for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was not outside the realms of that for sure. They definitely went a little bit more crazy in what they did last year. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm stoked on what we're doing here. I'm stoked on having a reason to watch more GCW. And yeah, it's such a fun promotion. I really don't know if I can recommend it more to anybody who, especially anybody who is maybe a little bit turned off of AEW, maybe a little bit turned off of WWE. At this point, I mean, there is no better promotion, I would say, that runs more consistently, right? You might find an indie promotion that might fit your needs a little bit more, but as far as a show that you can watch 2 times a week, some weeks, you know, for 5 hours if you don't watch live, it's great wrestling. Really excited to, you know, have a reason to watch it. Really excited to be watching it.
Yeah, and we're gonna watch more, and when we watch more, we're gonna talk about it some more. So
yeah,
you know,
I don't know what's up for this coming week, but you know what? Here, let me look real quick and see. So the next GCW show, the next GCW show is Jersey Championship Wrestling, which was 2 days ago. Is
that's the next one.
Yeah. So they have 2 shows next week, Friday, December the 5th, and Saturday, December the 6th. And you can probably expect us to hop live sometime after that and talk about those.
And watch that shit too, because it's going to be really good.
And then you can talk to us about it live.
Yeah, I'm forgetting how all this outro stuff works. I might click this button and it might just end, but it might prompt me to do something else. So we're gonna.
I've been Shane.
I'm Isaac.
That's been Isaac.
This is such a good shoot. We're back and we're shooting on GCW. We love it. Thank you for joining us. And I can't set an outro video. Oh, sweet. Okay. I'm going to keep talking for a second. Select that, set it as my outro video, and play outro and end the stream.
Thank you for listening to this edition of Such Good Shoot. If you are on YouTube, please remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon. Or subscribe to us on your favorite audio catcher. Or finally, if you're on Facebook, leave a comment, like the video, and make sure to share it out to all your friends. Until next time, we have been Such Good Shoot, and have a great day.